And good morning, man. It's been quite a few days, hasn't it? This is not typical. I know. But listen, I'll explain everything to you in just a couple of minutes. Let's make sure we looking good, we sounding good. Give me a thumbs up if we can sound good on any platform that you're listening to, whether that be audio or video, like YouTube or Facebook. Good morning to you, Nathan Ivey. Listen, on today's show, I want to catch you up over the last couple of days, give you an insight as to what's going on in my world. Plus, I want to catch up on all the news and views and everything that's happened between the last time we spoke, which was Friday, and today, which is Wednesday. Plus, I'll give you a heads up on what you can expect from CDM today and throughout the rest of the week. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. 3 things that should stay in 2020 coming up in just a couple of minutes. Please take a second, fam, and like and in particular, share today's show. When you share the show, quite frankly, more people see it. Good morning to you. We'll get started in about 60 seconds.
You, me, yeah. I believe in you, me, yeah. Let's stay here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight, 'cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine in a world so full of pain. Can you make it go away? Used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me. Sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now, everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Baby, now be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me.
Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw all my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty talking about, oh. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'm a spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the skies the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been duck dog, getting in my new merch, color duck sauce on the new couch with my chucks on. Get the on with that hate. I'm big cool on the small chat, cause I know now that I'm all that. Got a hawk guy on the ball cat. Get the out of my face. Talking to
all right, good morning, everybody. Let's get things started. It's been way too long. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? I know many of you may have the week off. That means you got a good job. I'm happy for you. Or you're unemployed, which is polar opposites, but enjoy your day nonetheless. Good morning to you. Let me throw my number out into the ether and see what happens. 513-873-7134. Three things that should stay in 2020. Good morning to you. Let me bring the cam up so we can actually see. Here we go. What's up? I'm still here. Good morning to you. I got a lot of well wishes. I'm like, wait a minute. What's up with the people? They must be reading something between the lines. And of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Ivy household, which I will give you a heads up on. Check me out. Black Lives Matter. You already know it. Got the Habu right here. You know, local black artists. Check them out. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Hey, what's up, bud? How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Good. It's great to see you. How you sleep?
Good.
That's great to hear. Yeah, that's my boy right there rolling with daddy. Look at him. He can't get enough of me. You good? Can I get back to doing what I'm supposed to do here? You mind? You want to bring your chair in? No, you can't bring your chair in right now, bud. Daddy's on the air.
Then I can watch it.
You have to watch me some other way. I appreciate it, though.
On the couch.
Yes, you can. Go ahead and do your thing. He wants to be close to his dad. All good. It's all good. Listen, as I said before, it's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. It's a pleasure to be with you. Again, you know me. I'm the Iron Man of talk radio. I hate to be off. So if I'm off for any reason, you know it must be for a big reason. Just a lot of stuff going on. I found out a few days ago that my mother's in the hospital. Prayers up to Chairman Mom. She is not doing well. She is, among other things, on a ventilator right now. My little brother, and thank God for him, just happened to be over at her crib, and she was not responding in the way that, you would expect her to be. So she got to be rushed over to the hospital. This damn COVID-19, although she didn't test positive for COVID-19, but like I've been telling people, it just puts a lot of stress on everything. And, it's the great circle of life. So I'm definitely in my feelings over Chairman Mom at this point and want to make sure she gets better. There's only so much you can do because, at this point, she's unresponsive at a hospital. So you want to make sure that you stay up and you stay present as much as possible, stay on the doctors, making sure they're giving you good information, challenging them when it's not. So that's what's going on in my world. On top of that, the wifey, of course, is burying her father later on today. His funeral is later on today. So it's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of stuff going on in the Ivey household. Appreciate all the well wishes. So now to give you an update as to what's going on. But I'm planning to be with you for the rest of the week and moving forward, unless we find out something which, of course, wouldn't necessarily be what they would call good news. But at times like this, man, you got to cling very tightly to your faith and just the memories that you have. The earliest memory I have of my mother are all good. Just a very, very positive, strong Black woman who in me instilled a real desire and a thirst for knowledge. I feel like I get that from my mother. A lot of great qualities I get from my dad, but I get that from my mom. I remember as an early age, she bought me in a set of encyclopedias because she wanted to make sure that I had as much information close to me as possible. What's up, bud? Where's that orange thing? I'm on the air right now, right? Okay. What, when you say orange thing, I don't know, son. Oh, yes. I think it's over there on the couch. Thank you, man. It is what it is. The boy, he's an early riser now. He raises up early in the morning when I'm up, and he wants to do everything I'm doing, which you could have a lot worse situations, right? Hey, listen, good morning, everybody. Let me check my chat, make sure everybody's connected. Yeah. Let me check the choppers. What's up, choppers? Oh, man, you already know. I've been thirsty for flows, thirsty for interactions. But as I just told you, I have some, somebody real close to me is in the hospital right now, my mother. And I'm in my feelings about it. I can't do anything. I feel powerless on some hand. And then, just a lot of energy, prayers up, just making sure that, we as a family are doing what we need to do. And that's all I can say. Like I said, she tested negative for COVID, and we're still trying to figure out whether she had a seizure or did she have an aneurysm, which she's had before, a stroke, something like that. She's exhibiting those kind of symptoms. So, at this point, she is what they would say not responsive and has been that way for a few days. So you can only imagine what that feels like. It ain't good. So, but the show goes on and, life goes on. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. I've been through this before with people I care about very much so, like my grandparents. So I've got a little bit of experience with it, but nothing prepares you for somebody as close as your mother, the vessel that you came to this world in. Man, nothing like it. So prayers up for Chairman Mom. For folks who don't know, I call her that because she was a dictator. She has to be a dictator raising 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. I'm the oldest. Can you only imagine? Yeah, we did everything. And she survived it. So prayers up for her. And, she's in ICU, so you can only see her between a small amount of time. Only one person can go per day. So trying to juggle all of us and making sure we get a chance to see her, it's as you can imagine, it's a little bit of a balancing act. So that's what's been going on. See, Brian writes, morning. Hey, good to see you, Brian. Good to see you. Truther writes, good morning, Choppers. Welcome back, Nate. Thank you. Good to be back. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Good morning to you. Tracy writes, hi. I see DB Cooper still in the house. He writes, don't worry, I won't be here long. Y'all don't deserve me anyway. Oh, great. Ray writes here. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. 1 day left until 2021. Or no, 1 day left in 2020. That's right. We got 1 day left in 2020. And there's a couple things that I wish that we could keep in 2020. You really look around it. Look inside the cover and everything. Yeah, I don't. In his mind, I don't do a show. Just so you know, this ain't nothing to him. What he wants supersedes anything else. Welcome to the life of a 6-year-old boy. But anyway, Yeah, it's a couple things I would love to have stay in 2020. I'll talk about that, plus some current events as well. CG Dub writes, good morning, choppers, including a story that I have been following for a lot of reasons as it relates to Cincinnati public schools. It's the story that surrounds Gabriel Tayi. Remember, that was a young brown boy, young black boy that committed suicide. And his parents said he committed suicide because he was being bullied at school. He attended a Cincinnati public school over at Carson Elementary. And some of y'all might have seen the videos. You got it? Good. That's good to hear, man. This dude, he don't care. None of this matters to him. Trust me. So he went to Carson Elementary School, and he came home one day, and as the story goes, he committed suicide. Then afterward, the family started to walk backwards trying to figure out why. And what they realized is that he had a couple incidences of bullying that was just either underreported or not reported fully, which is kind of like the same thing, to the parents. Remember this? And then I'll never forget that former Superintendent Mary Ronan said something that I thought was absolutely reprehensible. No one who represents in any way youth, children should ever make a public statement at that time. Remember the public statement she made? She made a public statement saying that it absolutely was not the fault of CPS what happened to this boy. So you remember the mother and the family alleged that there were prior incidences in that Gabriel Tayi story that the CPS, their administrators, teachers, whoever over at Carson Elementary did not report. And I saw a video of what appeared to him to be in like the bathroom at the school. And then all of a sudden he's on the floor of the bathroom. And it looks like it was after he had a confrontation with another boy who may have been bullying him. And the family says that it was completely the CPS administrators and the teachers just botched it. They didn't let her know what was going on. Apparently they found him unconscious on the bathroom floor, but they told the mother that he fainted. And so, the family went to court, and then CPS lawyers, or the lawyers that represent CPS, were in court arguing that essentially CPS should have immunity. That it will open the door to all other kind of lawsuits if you didn't give CPS, the Cincinnati Public Schools, immunity from the lawsuit, as if they're not responsible for their actions and inactions. To me, seemed to be very, very dangerous. You send your schools to CPS, but they ain't responsible to tell you the truth about what happens to your kid. So let me get this straight. So I raised this kid to get to school age years, send him to your establishment. Something happens to my child while they're with CPS, and you don't have to tell me the truth about what happens. That is amazing to me. That is amazing that CPS would even argue that. Cincinnati Public Schools, absolutely amazing. I mean, you talk about reprehensible in my opinion. So you telling me that my kid can be the victim of bullying, can be the victim of abuse, but the teachers and administrators don't have to tell me anything? They can just say, well, you know what, we don't know what happened, even though they know what really happened. But a federal judge said that lawsuit can go forward. And it don't look good for the actions of the administrators and teachers over at Carson Elementary. I believe that the teacher, or the principal, has since been removed, and I don't know how that works. I mean, was the principal removed from the CPS system altogether, or was she pushed to another school where she's like, being quiet right now? I just don't remember the details about what happened with that case. Maybe you do, but that's a very sad case. I remember going back over the summertime, there was a big, not big, but there was a public gathering at Mayerson Academy. If you don't know, that's like the address for all the, for CPS. That's where I believe that's where they hold the CPS meetings. You want to watch the school board, they do it over at Mayerson Academy. I believe that, the top folks in terms of the superintendent and the assistant superintendents maintain office space over there. So that's what they also do a lot of training and stuff over there as well. But I went to it, and there was a lot of folks there. I went to it, and there were a lot of people there. And what I noticed is somebody had posted these flyers that said, never forget. And it was a picture of this young brother, Gabriel Tayi. Remember this little sweet little boy's face? Just the sweetest little face you could imagine in the world. Oh my God, just broke my heart when I heard about that. I was pissed. I was pissed at Mary Ronan. I was pissed at the CPS administrators involved. I mean, I don't have any insight to Carson Elementary. I remember back when this story first broke, I did speak to a mother, it was a white female, and she talked about and chronicled, a lot of her issues, with that school. To me, that's still an issue that CPS has to fix. I don't know about you, but the biggest issue I have about my daughter going back to real learning is dealing with the adults inside the school. That's the biggest issue. And, I'm telling you, I keep saying, I've heard horror stories from CPS parents that are along the same lines as to what happened to Gabriel Taye. You got serious issues with your child, and then you can't get nobody on the phone. And don't tell me about no CPS hotline numbers, because they don't work. They don't work at all. And what I mean by, you can call the number, but nobody's going to get back to you. Yeah, call us, fill out this form, tell us what happens, report bullying. Nobody ever gets back to you whatsoever. And it almost feels like there's a purposeful bottleneck when it comes to trying to get in contact with CPS, beyond the principal. What if you got a principal that's completely unresponsible, which happens a lot, happens a whole lot? Where do you go? If you don't know how to get in contact with the superintendent or the assistant superintendents, or you don't have no connection, you can't get to nobody. And that's essentially kind of along the same lines in terms of non-responsiveness or unresponsiveness, or just being forthcoming about what's happening with your child. I don't know, man. When I was in youth development, I took a completely different approach. I took the overshare approach. We're going to tell you everything. When mom and dad show up, I don't believe in no surprises. We don't want no surprises. We don't want no excuses. I don't know about you, but when I pick up my child or my children, I don't want to hear a whole bunch of stuff for the first time. Like, well, she did this and we had to do that. I don't want to hear all that. Why don't you call me? I want to hear it when it happens in real time. I just feel like that's like respect up. So, I was happy to see that the judge allowed that case to go forward, and people should read it. I mean, from what I'm reading, even the federal judge was like, well, wait a minute, y'all gonna claim immunity, but y'all wasn't doing the right thing. And again, these are our children. Okay, this is the next generation of Cincinnati. The people that everybody say they care about, and the whole reason why we do anything is for the youth. It's for the youth, for the kids. The outrage, I don't understand the outrage. And I get it, because everybody wants to be cool. Everybody wants to be friends. Nobody wants to rock the boat. People care about getting interviews. I don't care about none of that. 0. 100 on that one. I don't give a damn about who comes on the show and who don't, because they mad, and I don't give a fuck. And so what? What I do care about is this next generation, these children. Are they being protected? I remember going back and forth with a brother gonna try to tell me about something that happened in my daughter's school. He ain't even got no kids in the CPS system whatsoever. How you gonna tell me? And I'm doing it every single day. But I think, yeah. Okay, what you think means like nothing, because you ain't got no real life experience. Then just saying, you need to listen to the parents. Listen to the parents. They'll tell you what's up. They will tell you what's up. Good morning to you, 513-873-7134. And what's so funny about going back to Mary Ronan, I just felt like her comment, at the time, she was on her way out. She was the superintendent, but she was on her way out, right? And she made a statement like, oh, this couldn't be CPS. CPS can't be held responsible. One has nothing to do with the other. What are you talking about? Everybody who works in youth development knows that bullying can lead to suicide. That's what they train you. I'll say it again. I was trained by CPS when I was working in youth development. Never forget it. The organization I work for. I'm live on the air. You having a good morning? That's good to see. Yeah, yes. That's the, yeah. Anyway, I told you, dude don't care. Dude don't care. This is his show. This is his house. You know how kids are. Where was I? I just thought it was reprehensible that the Mary Ronan would come out and make a statement like, oh, there's absolutely no chance that CPS has anything to do with the death of Gabriel Taye. Blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. Anyone who's ever taken any training over the last 10, 15 years as it relates to bullying in a social setting like a school, all of those trainings conclude the same way. that part of the problem is that it can have a severe impact on the self-esteem of the victim.
Hey guys, this is the
No,
this
it's
is
not.
the
It's
Nathan Ivey Show.
it is. It is. Can I do what I'm doing, man? I'm gonna have to cut that short because you know how kids are. He ain't gonna never stop. But he's welcome though. Little boy, let daddy do what he has to do. Anyway, I thought it was reprehensible because if anybody who's taking any kind of bullying training over the last 10, 15 years, they're all in the same way. That it can lead to severely impacting the victim's self-esteem. And in some cases around the country, too many of them, it's led directly to cases of suicide. And then you had the former the former superintendent coming out talking about we had nothing. What? See, that's the part of the attitude. I'm glad she gone. No, a lot of folks loved him some Mary Ronan. I was never impressed by what I saw. I'm gonna be honest with you. She was all right. But I know how we do in this city. I know I'm losing some friends right now. Like, Mary Ronan did this for the community. Well, okay, that's great. I'm sure she did. That's a beautiful thing. But I thought that comment was irresponsible and reprehensible. I stand by what I said. So circling all the way around, I'm very happy to see that a federal judge is allowing for this case to move forward so that CPS can't hide behind some kind of immunity if one of their administrators, I've heard some terrible things, and or teachers don't do their job and it leads to a serious injury. Here it is. Federal appeal court allows Gabriel Tyee wrongful death lawsuit against CPS to go to trial. I mean, during the whole backdrop of all this stuff with George Floyd, I've been one of the few people to bring this up consistently. I don't know anybody else is doing, but during the backdrop of all this stuff about our kids, CPS is in court, arguing that CPS officials are not responsible to tell parents what happens to their kids. So your kids can go to school, get bullied. CPS don't have to tell you. They should be immunized from any damage because what? I don't get that. The U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals in Cincinnati on Tuesday rejected an immunity claim from CPS, citing evidence that school officials acted recklessly in their handling of Gabriel's bullying, according to an opinion from Circuit Court Judge Bernice Bowie Donald. Acted recklessly. The court said they acted recklessly. And you got lawyers that represent CPS that's in court. How much money has CPS spent? How much money from the taxpayers has CPS spent on these lawyers arguing that they're not responsible for our children? I mean, just think about that. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I got some information that year to date that the CPS legal bill for the litigation involving Gabriel Tyee is north of $85,000. And that was just in the year 2018. I said year to date, but that was in the year 2018. So, I mean, that was 2018. This is the end of 2020. So what's the bill now? If they spending $85,000 a year, if the CPS is spending $85,000 per year in court using your money, our money, my money, to argue that they should be immunized from the actions of people that they employ. This is amazing. This is amazing. So they spent $85,000 in litigation in the year 2018. Let's say they spent at least as much over the next 2 years. So that's 85,000 times 3. Somebody do the math real quick. Somebody do the math real quick and tell me what you come up with. No, love. Daddy's on the air. Do the math real quick and tell me what you come up with. You're talking about over $200,000. And then they'll be crying broke. I love to see what the total bill is. CPS has spent, have they spent $200,000, north of $200,000 fighting in court so that administrators and teachers are immunized from their actions as it relates to our children? We should be outraged. Hold on, son. Daddy's doing his thing. Gotta go play.
I'm trying to get you high.
I'm high enough, baby. Thank you. He's trying to get you higher. Think about that. Let me see. That is crazy, man. I don't know. I mean, these are figures that came to me. They could be spot on. They could be spot off. I don't know. I mean, it gives us a reference point, though. But just think about that for a second. Just think about it. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Who is responsible for the children in this city? Who? Nobody. Go back on you, mom and dad. You got to be, not only do you have to raise your kid, be an advocate for your kid, you got to be Inspector Gadget / Sherlock Holmes when something happens at the school. You got to get your big old magnifying glass and go to the school and look for clues and get fingerprints and then do your own forensic analysis. It's ridiculous. And I'm talking about it because I think that Gabriel Taye story is just the tip of the iceberg. I think there's a lot more. In fact, I know there's a lot more similar stories. They may not end in death, and that way we don't really hear about them. But in terms of everything that leads up to that, like I told you, I talked with a white female who had her child at Carson Elementary back a couple of years ago. Yes, please. And she told me she had the same experience over there. But, when parents complain about principals, does it fall on deaf ears? It's kind of like, they're just whining. Oh, those are the kind of parents that's causing a problem, right? It must be something like that. I'm telling you, it's a damn shame. I ain't trying to get nobody caught up in it that don't deserve it, but if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. Deal with it. It is what it is. I don't give a damn. Don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. It is what it is, but that's a damn sad story, man. It still burns me up every time I think about and see this little boy's face. He had a beautiful smile. He had like a megawatt smile. Look at that. Beautiful smile. And, now his mother and his father and his family is left dealing with this. Let me see. CPS rules require that paramedics are summoned after a minute of unconsciousness, but officials failed to do so in Gabriel's case. Just days before, he was attacked in the school bathroom and knocked unconscious for more than 7 minutes, according to court documents. If you remember, when this story first happened, I'm like, man, as we broke it down and talked about it, I'm like, damn, this is a learning opportunity, unfortunately, for CPS, including updating those horrible cameras. The worst cameras in the world watching our babies. They're not even real cameras. It's just like a series of still images. Like, can we get a better grade quality of cameras so that when something happens, we can actually see it? It was terrible. So yeah, we're going to pull the video. It's not a damn video. That's just like a static image. That's not a video. I know video. That's not a video. Yeah. As alleged, the defendant's behavior shows conscious disregard of or indifference to a known or obvious risk of harm to Taye that was unreasonable under the circumstance because they knew Taye was harassed and bullied at the school and that the risk of bullying is suicide, and yet they utterly failed to take reasonable steps to protect Taye from risk. That's Judge Bernice Bowie Donald. That's part of what she wrote, talking about your school system. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. And that's why when parents hit the roof about their children, I don't have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. I got no problem with it. I think there's a way you do everything, but when parents hit the absolute roof, you got to. You got to, because if you don't advocate and put your foot down and let folks know you're not going to be pushed over, in some cases, they'll just completely gloss over you and push over you. Like, we got this. Oh, did you? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's the wifey right there. It's tough, man. She about to get dressed and make a move to go to a funeral to bury a man that's been in her life for the last, 30 years? Yeah. It's not good. It is not good. It's not good, but it's that circle of life type stuff. I feel like I'm a little bit dark in here. I can brighten that up, that image. Can you see me? Check out the hot boo right there. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. So I want to put that on the table and get your thoughts and put it out there. I've been watching that story and I'm going to continue to watch it to its logical conclusion. And, it is what it is. Quote, the fact that Carson officially reported 0 incidences of bullying in the first half of Tyree's third grade year, even though the behavior log documented several events described as bullying, may ultimately show that the board of defendants were aware that bullying was being concealed at Carson. So that's the other thing. I mean, what's the documentation? What's the rules for the documentation? I know with some schools, they allow you to, like if a kid has an issue, you can kind of write your issue on a piece of paper and turn it into the administrator. What happens to that information? To me, all of that should be documented. If a kid takes a moment to write one of these little incident reports, then there should be a document of all of them. I mean, even if it ends up being something that, doesn't require a big response, I think it should all be documented because it'll tell you something about how that administrator is doing their job. It'll tell you something about the kind of information that they are aware of. And don't nobody hit me. I don't want to hear no excuses about, they're overworked. Well, get somebody else that can do it. Man, it's some highly motivated people out there that can know how to juggle. Get somebody like that to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do the job, and get somebody out there that can do it. Simple as that. Yeah. A 2018 report by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that suicide as a cause of death in Ohio rose by more than 30% from 1999 to 2016. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. In December of 2019, CPS appealed to the 6th District in an effort to overturn Black's decision. That's U.S. District Judge Timothy Black. Because that's because CPS asked U.S. District Judge Timothy S. Black to dismiss the case. Like, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. You talk about the way they're going to interact with our children moving forward. And if you have a child at CPS, you should be watching any court case that involves CPS and families and students. It should be the top of your list. And let me tell you why, fam. Because whatever they do to Gabriel Tayayi is exactly what they're going to do to your kid if your kid's in the same exact situation. Can I get an amen on that? You think they're going to treat your kid differently? They're going to run the same game. We don't know. It wasn't our fault. Well, maybe something was going on at home. Maybe that's why your son committed suicide. What? Well, we didn't know about bullying. You didn't know about bullying. He went to the office 15 times. Well, we didn't think he was serious. Huh? I'm telling you, what they can do to one child and family, they can do to all of us. You can get this work, this $85,000 a year litigation work too. $85,000 a year the CPS is spending to fight a lawsuit in which it looks like they dead wrong. It looks like they is straight up wrong, at least preliminarily, just kind of reading between some of these quotes and what these two judges have said so far. I mean, damn. First you ask for it to be overturned, then you asking for immunity. In both cases, no and no. You gonna take this work, is what the legal system is saying to CPS right now. People should be alarmed. People should be alarmed. This should be an issue in next year's, anybody run for school board should be asked questions about this case. I want to hear what you think. Simple as that. Of course they got a good out. Well, I can't talk about litigation. Well, let them take it out. I want to hear what their response is going to be. I'm just saying. And again, this happened on the watch of not the current CPS superintendent, but the former. Speaking about Mary Ronan, again, her comment in this case, man, I can't say enough about how negative I thought it was and just how cynical I thought it was. Isn't she like the superintendent over at Norwood Schools? They just don't know what they got over there. She don't give a damn. You can't say you care about kids to make a statement like that. Now, you might argue, well, the legal thing is something they just got to do, and it's just a part of their litigation defense plan, and da-da-da-da-da. I might be, maybe. There could be an appealing argument there, maybe. But for to go out and make a statement in public like that, and you're getting the information secondhand, you weren't even there? I thought that was irresponsible, fam. I'm just going to be honest with you. 513-873-7134. I mean, I could go on for days and days and days, man, about this case. But I'll leave it right there and let you pick it up if you're interested. You can check it out for yourself. Matter of fact, let me do the old copy and paste thing, and you can check it out for yourself this morning. I'll put it in the chat here. Yeah, you can check it out for yourself. There it is. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. And we'll put it on YouTube if you're interested as well. You can check it out for yourself. Check it out for yourself. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Brian Rice, morning. I think I said all of that. Let me catch up here. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. I see Angela's in the house. She writes, good morning. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Tracy writes, sorry to hear, Nathan. Prayers up. Oh, most definitely. Yeah, me too, man. Let me see. Ray's in the house. CG Dub writes, Nate, you know what Orange Thing Junior talking about? Yeah, I do. It's like a little toy, right? Him finding the toy supersedes anything else. I get it already. I'm used to it. A lot of well wishers. Appreciate it. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Morning Marley writes, morning, Nate and Choppers. Good morning to you. A lot of love coming away. I appreciate it. Cassandra writes, good to have you back, Nate. Hey, Choppers. Hey, good to be seen. Good to be seen. Crystal writes, good morning. CG Dub writes, little boy Nate, you sound like me talking to my grandson this past weekend. You know, you want to give him that kind voice, right? Because he's just 5, 6. He's about to be 6. So that's it. He's growing fast. So I'm telling you, he's going to be, if he decides to go that right, because I'm a big believer in pushing your kids, but kind of letting them kind of lead a little bit in terms of what their spark is. If he goes the basketball route, you know me, I'm going to love that. If he goes another route, I'm going to invest in whatever route he's in. You know, he's got to do something physical. We believe in a strong body, strong mind in this household. You're not laying around on my dime. You're going to have to be doing something. Going to be developing something for the next level. But, I'm telling you, he's going to have crazy handles. Crazy handles. Cassandra writes $255K. Yep. $255,000. Again, I'm extrapolating here. The number doesn't have to be true. But again, some information came to me within the last, I'd say 36 hours about this situation in terms of how much money CPS is spending on litigation. Yeah, this is a direct email from Daniel Hoying, who's the general counsel for the Cincinnati Public Schools. Yeah, so you know what's up. Yeah, 85,000. We got 80,000 just to throw away like that. And then the district is overwhelmingly black. So you got to look at it from that perspective. The kids that they service overwhelmingly are black and brown children. So it's bigger than Gabriel Taiai. It's bigger than just him. It's about all of us. And in particular, how we going to treat black kids in this CPS system. That's how I look at it. It's bigger than just that one boy, although that's enough to get my blood boiling. I'm telling you, it's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. I feel for that situation. 513-873-7134 if you want to share your thoughts. Pat writes, good morning. Sharp writes, CPS failed Gabe. Yeah. And because I remember having a conversation, I think this was with Black Russia, and he was trying to tell me some dumb shit, trying to tell me what I know. You can't never tell me what I know. And I think the question I asked her is, are the black kids being looked after? And he was like, well, they got a black, I think I was talking about Walnut Hills. I believe I'm pulling this together. And he was like, well, they got a black principal. Well, they had a black principal at Carson Elementary. It's a black female. So miss me with all of that. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. I don't want to be wrong, but as I understand it, when Gabriel Tayi had that situation and all leading up to it was a black female who was the principal. So one don't necessarily have anything to do with the other. I love to see black people shining in position of influence and power. Oh, I love it. But that ain't no 100%, making sure that, your kid's going to be protected. It don't work that way. I didn't even use it. Your son is all in here. He all on the mic. That's a lot, actually. But that's cool. Go ahead and throw it in there. Getting my tea together. I'm a little bit off my regimen. Thank you. Appreciate that. He over there waiting to get back in here, boy. He can't wait. He can't wait. Oh, man, listen. All I can say is Christmas was interesting. Let me take you back here because we haven't spoken since Friday. Christmas was real interesting at the house. Christmas, of course, was on Friday. I didn't do a show on Friday. I did a show on Thursday. I've been with you since Thursday. So Thursday, Monday, Tuesday now. Ooh, man, that's much longer than usual. Christmas was good. I mean, I don't do that Santa Claus-ish. And if we have any Santa Claus imagery, it will be a person of color. And I quiz the kids all the time. Who is Santa Claus? Nobody. He's made up. I got a quiz them to make sure. But they had a good Christmas, man. We don't go super overboard with all that stuff because they don't need it. But you're going to bust your head. I wouldn't go over there if I was you. I'm just telling you. You better do something dangerous. So we don't go overboard with that, because kids need other things that are far more important throughout the year. But they had a good Christmas. They both got some things that they wanted, what they deserved. My daughter is 100% on point. She is on point in a way that impresses me. And so she gets rewarded for that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. You coming through and not just meeting expectations, but exceeding expectations. And you got a great personality and you look like me. We're going to take care of you. So we took care of her and she's happy. You know what I'm saying? Got a little keyboard. I just love to hear the sounds of the keyboard emanating from her room as she's dibbling in the music game. I don't know where it's going to go, but as a parent, you just got to go wherever your kids take you. If she says she want to pick up hockey, then guess what? She's going to get some hockey equipment. If she says she want to do the trombone like Theo from the Cosby Show, then she's going to get a trombone. It is what it is. My son was good. He's good. He got a bunch of little stuff that he wanted. So ultimately it was a good time. I just chilled out, Like I said, there's a lot of emotional things going on around the family right now in terms of people that we lost. My mother in ICU. So, it's the real is always in front of us, if you know what I mean, even though we enjoying ourselves. Frenay writes, good morning, Choppers. Hey, good morning, Frenay. Let me change that up a little bit. I like it differently. I like it like that. Yeah. What's up? Good morning to you. Daryl writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning to you, Daryl. Andriel writes, good morning from New York. I might get a chance to talk about Ice Cube. He did his first interview post-election with Dr. Boyce Watkins from yourblackworld.com or .tv or whatever it is. And I got a chance to watch most of it. It was really interesting. I don't think that brother's going to go away. Pamela writes, good morning. Kelly writes, where you're Kelly, she writes, good morning. Kenneth writes, goodness morning, goodness to you as well. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers, good morning to you. Janice writes, a bright good morning. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's going to be a beautiful day. Iona writes, welcome back, Nate. Missed you. Glad to be missed. Appreciate you saying that. Kenneth writes, yes, that's good. Hey, Nate, don't like black pussycat coming for you. Daryl writes, didn't like black pussy. You know, Black Lion or something? I think I saw that, man. I kind of unplugged a little bit from social media just because I was dealing with more emotional family stuff that was going on. I did see that. Yeah, the brother's a big fan of the show. Sometimes he comes a little differently. And, like any relationship, sometimes you got to just kind of help people get back in line and how to deal with you. He's always welcome, though. Fame writes, haven't decided how long I'm going to chill, but y'all don't deserve me, so it probably won't be long. Oh, boy, oh, dear. Glenn writes, good morning, Nate and Facebook Choppers. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nate and the Chopper. Looks like that IRS stimulus dropped overnight. Did it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Damn, we were supposed to get $2,000, or those who were eligible were supposed to get $2,000 per person. That's what Trump said he wanted. But Mitch McConnell is playing. And I was glad to see that the Democrats forced his hand, because they voted again just on Monday for a $2,000 per adult stimulus check. And really, it should be $2,000 per person in the house. So if you're a family of four, you should be looking at $8,000, in my opinion. Like, if you really want to stimulate the economy and you really want to help people not just tread water, but get ahead, then hit everybody with two stacks apiece. I like the way that sounds. 2 stacks apiece for everybody. Makes perfect sense to me. But Mitch McConnell said no, and he's playing more politics. I thought it was a good move on 2 levels. I mean, it was a good move for the people, because the people deserve at least $2,000 apiece. And then I think it was a good move politically, because it's forcing Mitch McConnell to go on record that he's against $2,000 checks. And I love what Bernie Sanders says. Bernie Sanders says, listen, if we don't get an up or down vote on a measure for at least $2,000, then he's basically going to do something as it relates to, I think it was another bill, the armed services bill. He said he's going to muck that all up, and he might filibuster it as a retaliation if the U.S. Senate, led by Mitch McConnell, don't do what they have to do. I'm so happy to hear that down in Georgia, man, they breaking records in terms of the amount of donations and money they have raised. Both of the Democrat candidates have raised, if not over the threshold, but very close to the threshold of $100 million for that Georgia runoff that's coming up on, was it next week? It's coming up next week. It's on January the 4th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 days. We'll find out whether Mitch McConnell is going to maintain being the the Senate majority leader. Just saying. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I, happy hump day. Yes, it is. Jerome writes, yes, they did. Anthony writes, good morning, Choppers. Good to see you. Janine writes, there is no sound. Brandy writes, good morning. Renee's throwing up prayers. Thank you so much. Greater Cincinnati Core Union writes, how can we purchase Black Lives Matter merchandise? I don't know about Black Lives Matter, but Black Voices Matter. There's a link in the day's description that'll take you straight to where you can pick up the merch. Somebody says your mic is off. Somebody says the mic is working. Sometimes you want to come out and come back in if you have any audio issues. I've learned a lot of well wishes about Chairman Mom. Yeah, I'm caught up in my feelings about that, man. 100%. All day until she gets better. A lot of well wishes here. Jihad writes, a black man got to know how to juggle. Absolutely, you know that. Janine writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. For some reason, there's no sound on Facebook. However, I can hear you loud and clear on YouTube. Don't know. I've heard that before. A whole lot of great folks in here. Naisha, Deborah, Samantha, Lemmy, good to see you. Jared's in the house. Pamela writes, the principal and teachers involved should have been fired 2 years ago. Talking about Gabriel Taiai. Yeah, I mean, where it's applicable, like where there are, some real lapse in judgment, I'm not against that. Our children have to matter. And what that means is that when people abuse their authority or neglect their authority and our children are injured, they got to deal with that. They got to deal with it. Glenn writes, little man, like, Dad, we need a short commercial break. I know that's right. Tanya writes, happy Wednesday, Nate and Choppers. You were missed and good to hear your voice and flows this morning. Great to be seen, great to be heard. I appreciate it. Grass is in the house. He writes, good morning, hashtag alt middle. Janice writes, there are board policies and procedures which the CPS should follow and can be sued for if not followed. Yeah, apparently it looks that way. And I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I wish the best for CPS. 100%. I have 2 children in CPS. I want to see everybody successful. I want to see the superintendent successful. I want to see every school successful for all of our children. But when these motherfuckers are online, then they got to be dealt with. Simple as that. Dale writes, love your song. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all just put more. If he's listening, son, I think he went back upstairs. We just putting a battery in his back. That's it. He'll be back. Graston writes, the voters can solve this by voting out the current board members like Ryan Messer. He don't care about CPS kids. Hashtag alt middle. How we get there? How do we get there? Carmelita writes, he gives no F's about your little radio thing. Right. He don't give a damn. Lemmy writes, who is CPS lawyers? That's a good question. I believe that they were using, who is this? Tav, Stettinitis, and Hollister. Tav, Stettinitis, and Hollister. I'm probably mangling that second last name, but that's the lawyer, from what I'm reading in his email, that was representing or is representing CPS on the Gabriel Taye matter. And I believe I'm saying his finally pronouncing his last name correctly. It's not Tay. I believe it's Taye. Anthony writes, my mom and dad told us keep your hands to yourself and leave people alone. On the other hand, they said if somebody picks on you, tear their ass up and we will deal with the school later. The whole thing I've told all my kids. Same here, Anthony. Has to teach me. I'm the same way. I don't bother nobody. I don't mess with nobody. If you take me there, whatever I do to you is what I do to you. Simple as that. TNT writes, good morning. Good to see you. You know, seeing her name come up in the chat reminds me that the Truth to Power podcast will be live today at 1 p.m. They'll be looking back at 2020 and then looking forward to 2021 in terms of strategies for the people. And I read this morning that the Cincinnati NAACP is out front and center in terms of urging the governor of Ohio to not pass the latest Stand Your Ground bill. I think that the current president, Joe Mallory, big ups to Joe. I think the quote, and this is a loose paraphrase. Basically, I think he said that new crime bill, we talked about it. Remember, we had a woman on from an organization that monitors these kind of things in the state of Ohio. And we talked about it for a good 30, 40 minutes and talked about what it means and what the impact's going to be. I love to make sure that my audience is ahead of the game. But I join it, the Cincinnati NAACP and anybody else, urging Mike DeWine to not sign that into law. Because again, white people, Karens and Darrens, don't need any legal rationale to open fire or to use weapons against us in 2020 or 2021. They don't need it. I don't trust you. I simply don't trust Ohioans. I don't trust you. We cannot be trusted as a stand your ground state on any levels whatsoever, because I guarantee somebody's going to get shot and killed. Oops, my bad. Well, I thought that he was coming for me, right? Black man 100 feet away from you. What you'll have is road rage incidences where people don't back down. That's what you'll have. You have situations where people don't back down because of this new Stand Your Ground bill and, some of the legal, obligations that it takes away, which at the top of the list is, a right to retreat. If you can get away from the drama, get away from it. Instead of, I feel threatened, so I can do whatever I need to do so I don't feel threatened anymore. Where we hear that at? That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work for black folks. It'll be open season on black people if they pass that. You know it and I know it in the state of Ohio. No doubt about it. Good morning to you. Let me see here. Good to see you, TNT. Janice writes, having worked for CPS for 26 years, as well as union officer member, and my husband and I being involved in every aspect of our children's education, K through 12, there are numerous things that should be changed. Accountability, responsiveness, consistency, just to name a few. I'm glad you said it, Janice. It's so obvious. And again, to me, it just seems like willpower. These you ain't got too many kids. All you got, these are grown folks that work for a living. When you're dealing with grown folks that work for a willing, all you got to do is set the expectation and back it up with some rules and policy and procedure, and then be 100% on policy and procedure at all times. And guess what? These men and women, teachers, administrators, principals, assistants, they going to follow the rules or they going to kick rocks, period. That's what will happen. They're going to do what CPS asks them to do, or they're going to leave. People do this all over the world. All over the world. You working for somebody acting like this? Hell no. This is what our expectation is in the future, Mr. or Mrs. And if you don't do it, then here's what's going to happen. And then when you go down that road, you do it. Simple as that. I'm telling you, it's sad out here. Hey, Jordan, good to see you. So with Jordan, Black Family Library, man, listen, people out here doing amazing things, man. Let me see. Good to see you. She writes, and Melanie and Eve too. Is that Melanie Bates and Eve Bolton? Lil Nate wants Daddy to end his show and go and hang out with him. Hashtag handsome. Yes, that's exactly what he wants. It's exactly what he wants. Grasson writes, there's a school board election along with city council in 2021. Hashtag vote. Oh, you already know. We know, B. We know. Frenay writes, yes, it falls on deaf ears. Mr. Lewis at North Avondale, Montessori didn't care. Is that right? Like I said, I've heard it from black people. I've heard it from white people. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And see, the difference is like, I know that you got members of like, I know that Mike Morawski does this. I would assume they all do this, although I'm not sure. Like, I know that Mike Morawski will sit down with constituents. He'll sit down with parents. I don't know if he does this once a month, and he'll just listen to them. He'll just, what's going on? Now, what you do with that afterward is what really matters. If it's a whole bunch of, well, make a phone call and do an email as opposed to you getting involved, it is what it is. But I could only assume that all the school board members are doing that. They're doing like, especially with Zoom. See, with Zoom these days, if you're a school board member and you're not doing like once a month or once a quarter on your own, all you got to do is set up a Zoom, invite parents in. It don't even have to be public, although it should be public. So there's really no excuses. If a school board member said, hey, I'm going to start Zoom calling and talking with parents, they want to know what's going on. What do you see? What do you hear? Man, each and every one of those school board members will have a full roster every time. And sure, you're going to hear a whole bunch of belly aching. You're going to hear a whole bunch of complaining, but it might be justified. It might be justified. There's no reason why they're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? At all, if they're not doing it. But I don't want to make any assumptions because I haven't done any research to kind of figure out what they are doing. So I can't say. But that seems pretty easy to me, right? Hey, we doing a Zoom call. You ain't got to leave your house. Boom. So there it is. You good. You taken care of. Why not? I don't get it. Let me see. KR Mitchell writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Happy hump day. Happy hump day to you. Hey, good morning, everybody. Tanya writes, amen. Smith writes, amen. And listen, folks, please take a second to like and in particular share this stream. Please take a second and like and in particular share this stream this morning. Make sure everybody can see and hear the show. I am back. I plan on being with you throughout the rest of the week. I also plan on doing a show on New Year's Eve with you as well, and New Year's Eve day. So you got me through the rest of the week. Now, coming up tomorrow, we are scheduled to speak with a woman who's got a very interesting story. I want to tease this for you just a little bit. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to speak with the author of a book titled The Thin Black Line. The Thin Black Line. Have you ever heard of this book? Oh, yeah, it's very timely. Okay, let's get into it, family. So basically, the book is written by a former Columbus, as in Columbus, Ohio, police officer, Black female. And she wrote a book exposing all of the various ways in which there are issues inside the Columbus Police Department. If you've been paying attention, the Columbus Police Department has been front and center because a brother, last name Goodson, got shot in the back, essentially, because he had a sandwich in his hand, and then there was no body cam, and now the people trying to figure out what happened with that whole situation. And then there was a Columbus police officer that recently got fired because he shot a man of color who was in a driveway. He had a cell phone in his hand. Yeah. So what's up with the Columbus Police Department? I'm not close enough, but I've heard for years and years and years that they are, let's just say, they got a lot of work to do. We'll put it that way, to be nice about it. Well, she wrote a book about it. She'll be my guest tomorrow. We're going to Zoom in as well. So you better see her and hear her. That's tomorrow at, I think, 8:30 a.m. approximately. So get ready for that. That should be a real interesting conversation. Yeah, I want to know. Don't you want to know? I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on. Good morning to you. You can also call into the show at 513-873-7134 this morning. If you want to share your thoughts, you can always take a free ride on my thoughts. As always. Tanik, hey, B writes, good morning, all. Drop writes, good morning, choppers. You miss me? Oh, absolutely, Drop. I miss everybody, man. I love doing this. I love interacting with people. I love sharing information. I love breaking things down. I love all of that. I'm about all of that. Billy writes, no audio. Oh, I'm sure what that is. Yeah. Good to see you, Danita. What's up, Billy? Good to see everybody. Let me see. I'm not sure what's up with that. Good morning to you. Danita writes, okay, we got 3 people saying no audio on Facebook, which is terrible news to hear. Again, if it's coming through YouTube but not Facebook, I don't understand that one bit. It should be coming through both. Let me see. Kendall Clark writes, good morning, Nate. Deborah's in the house. She writes, good morning, y'all. Deshauna writes, you was missed. Thank you so much, Deshauna. May writes, prayers for your healing for your mom. Thank you so much. Lewis writes, keep that good box music, Nate. I will. You get $600 first, and for dependent, I got $1,200 this morning. The second round, $2,000. Only adults, no adult dependents. So the second round it'll be an additional $2,000, so $2,600. Well, I again, anything will help the people, man. Anything will help the people. I just keep telling people that people say there's no difference between the Democrats and Republicans. I see a huge difference between the Democrats and Republicans. Even from the black community's perspective, I see a huge difference between the two, in terms of what the two parties stand for. On an individual basis, can you find some Republicans that'll work with you? Let's say you got ideas for legislation. I've heard, yeah. In my experience, yeah, you can. But in general, in terms of what the two parties stand for, to me, there's a big difference between the two. So you get $600 first, and for dependent, I got $1,200 this morning. The second round, $2,000, only adults. No adult dependents. Okay. Glenn writes, that's right, Nate. The Dems put Mitch and the GOP on blast. We're making them vote for against 2X. Yeah, smart move. It was a smart move. Put them on blast. Let everybody know. One thing I would love to leave in 2020, should I say, are Karens and Darrens. Over the last, I'd say 5 days since I've been off, there's been a couple of Karen videos that have gone viral. And, just this idea of what a Karen and a Darren stands for, I wish that we could leave that in 2020. Now, it's just a wish. This ain't no Wonder Woman 84. Anybody see that movie? I wouldn't waste your time on it. I'm just saying that way. Don't look too good to me. But anyway, I know it was a big deal. I was reading over the week and that movie did well on Christmas Day. I think they released it. I think it's because people were bored at home looking for something new. Plus, the first one had some cool action scenes in it. I finally got around to watching it one day. It was something to watch. No big deal. Is what it is. McConnell combines $2,000 stimulus with legislation to study voter fraud. So he's playing politics, right? The Democrats tried to use some momentum against the Republican Party. Like, hey, your leader, the leader of your party, Donald Trump, wants $2,000 checks. McConnell said, nah, he blocked that yesterday. And he attached the idea to Trump's demands from lawmakers that they address election fraud and remove legal protections for social media platforms under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. You know, the Republicans, they want to attack the big social media platforms because they look at it as being biased toward liberals and against conservative interests and conservative people. So they're trying to do whatever they can to influence Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, any social media platform. That's what they're trying to do right now. Will it work? We'll have to wait and see. I hope people remember this, but people have short memory, so we'll see. They jammed the GOP candidates in Georgia. That jammed the GOP candidate. It did jam them, but you know, both of the Republican candidates in the Georgia Senate race or runoffs, they both are for a $2,000 increase. They better well be. How you gonna run? They both millionaires many times over. Kelly Loeffler is the richest, or should I say the wealthiest member of the U.S. Senate. She's married to a man who owns a company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, amongst other things in their portfolio. So she's super wealthy. She's like a majority owner in a WNBA franchise, right? I don't get it. Like, you own the majority, or maybe it was like 49% of a WNBA franchise, and then the members of the franchise come out and protest against you. They actually lobby in support of your political opponent. Oh, why would I vote for you? These are the people that know you best. They're not even for you. I don't get it. Nat writes, they can give the rich a $2 trillion tax break, but won't give citizens stimulus during a pandemic. Like every other first world country, shaking my damn head. That's because, Nat, and we already know the playbook. Get ready for the Republicans to turn into super budgetary people. It's all about the budget, watching every dollar. They're worried about the deficit. They're worried about the future of the company or the country. Get ready for it. And then the second part, as I said before, is that the Republican Party, they want to make the next 2 years for the American people as dire, as sour, as negative as possible. They want you to feel as if Joe Biden didn't do anything. They want you to feel bad during the next 2 years. Why? Because they're going to run on that during the midterm elections coming up in 2024. Or is that in 2022? Okay, so they're going to run on it. So that's why 2024 is the next presidential election. Hopefully we'll all get a chance to see it. Deborah writes, Mitch McConnell is evil. Well, he's diabolical. He is cutthroat, but he's a Republican. And he's playing the game all the way out. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is his climax. Because, you know, Mitch McConnell ain't doing nothing sexually. Come on, please. I don't believe anything in his body works other than his mouth and his arms. That's about it. So this is how he probably gets off. You know, yeah, I scored another one for the Republican Party. Yeah, we stopped Obama. You know, that's what passes as an orgasm in the McConnell household, right? Yeah, I stopped another Supreme Court justice from going to the Democrats. I can't climax, but I'm happy I can stop the Democrats. You know, all this kind of dumbish. Jesse writes, prayers to you and your family. Thank you so much. Jada writes, I'm on Facebook and I can hear you just fine. Yeah, thank you so much, Jada. Good morning to you. Kimberly writes, happy, beautiful Wednesday, Nate and Choppers. Hey, good morning to you. Appreciate all the well wishes. Appreciate you. Renee's in the house. She writes, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you. Carmelita writes, HB 175. Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? House Bill 1 from Cincinnati? NAACP says, no, we ain't feeling it. And I'm glad to hear it, because from what I understand about it, it's bad news for black people in the state of Ohio. It is bad, 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 bad news in the state of Ohio. You don't need it. If that's the stand your ground issue, 175? Nah, let me look at it real quick. Bad, 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 bad news. We don't need that. Yeah, you hear this. House passes stand your ground. They're calling historic. Historic my ass. People need to know. We don't need this in the state of Ohio. I don't trust it. And this is what the Republican majority is sitting around doing in the state of Ohio. Man, let me see here. Let me see. Shorthand for a gun owner's right to defend themselves with lethal force inside their own home or vehicle. It would expand the area where lethal force is authorized to include a place in which they lawfully have the right to be or anywhere in public. And what it really means is that the commonly accepted duty to retreat would now be overturned. It ensures that any licensed gun owner who is not an aggressor and who feels threatened by the actions of another may use lethal force on that person if they feel the force is necessary to protect themselves. So what that means is you get into a road race situation and you don't even get out your car. Somebody can shoot you through their vehicle because they feel as if it's a threat. And then from what I understand, then prosecutors would have to find in some way that in fact that wait, it puts more of a burden on the prosecutor as well. I don't want to speak out of turn on here. I want to make sure I speak very specifically on it, but it would put more of a burden. It would make it more difficult for prosecutors to find these individuals guilty. We don't need this in the state of Ohio. I don't trust it. I had a phone call from a black woman years ago. She told me that, she flipped somebody off, right? We've all done it before. I've done it before. I'll probably do it again. There's a lot of dumbass drivers in the state of Ohio, especially in Cincinnati. There's a lot of thoughtless drivers. There's a lot of reckless drivers. You know me, I was taking a walk not too long ago, right? And as I was approaching the intersection, a car was approaching the intersection from a different viewpoint, right? Maybe like a 45-degree angle from me, right? So I was closer and was in the street, right? The car had a stop sign. So as I'm walking across the street, I think I was like a quarter of a way into the street, maybe halfway through the crossing walk, right? I'm so far in the middle of the crossing walk, I'm expecting for the car to stop and wait for me to pass and then, make your turn. This car didn't even stop at the stop sign. Went straight through the stop sign and took a quick right. I guess because they were so impatient and they couldn't wait for me to finish walking across the street. So they just cut me off with their car. I was pissed. I was looking for some rocks. There was a black female, a little knucklehead inside, a black female inside. Yeah, I'm going to say what it is. I look like a millennial. You damn ungrateful, selfish bastard. I was looking for a rock. I wanted to throw a rock through the window so bad, but I didn't. I didn't want to make it worse. I didn't really have to pay them, really what it was. I'm mad at you. I ain't trying to pay you. Quote, people of color die disproportionately because of these laws. I agree. That's from Rep. Erica Crawley, a Democrat from Columbus. I agree 100%. So raise your voice on that. You remember that show? We talked about it at length. Angela writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning to you. Glenn writes, wait till the first black person kills a white person with stand your ground law. That shit will change real quick. I know that's right, Glenn. I know that's right. Yeah, see, black folks, man, we so good natured. We don't want to turn the tables. We just want to live our lives, right? I already know, because I'm black. I get it too. But it is what it is. Dale writes, open season in Florida and Georgia. No to stand your ground law. Toy writes, passing that stand your ground would make shootings of unarmed people of color a pastime by people other than cops. I agree completely. I agree 100%. Letty writes, good morning, happy Kwanzaa, Nathan Ivey and the Choppers. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. We did. It was really relaxing. The wifey was off. I'm never off. You know what I'm saying? But, over the weekend, I kind of turned the murder down just a little bit. And, it's always fun to watch your kids open presents that you get them. So we did that. My son, his faces, my daughter, we got her something. She actually wept. You got it for me. I'm like, oh, she's touched. She was like, it wasn't a thing. It was just that you listened to me. Yeah, we listened to you, medium Buddha. You on your way out? Okay. Yeah, I might take a break real quick. The wifey's going to be leaving. I want to make sure I greet her. So give me 1 second here. She's going to be rolling out. She's going to a funeral. I want to make sure I talk to her before she leaves, all right? Hopefully you can understand that. And if not, I'm doing it anyway. All right, so hold tight. Okay, sorry about that, TNT. That goes back till Sunday. Yep, that goes back to Sunday. Give me 1 second. I know people have been trying to call in. But two things. So I want to make sure the phone calls are coming to me. And then I'm going to take a quick, maybe 1 minute break so I can greet the wifey before she leaves. It's very emotional in the Ivey household this morning. And she's about to get on the road for a little bit. I want to make sure I send her off properly. Please understand, Black love is the most important thing. It never stops. Let me see here. Hold on, give me 1 second. So I want to make sure our phone calls are coming through directly to the correct number first. And then I want to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll get back to the flow. You got me up until at least 9:30, 10 a.m. this morning. And as I set the table for the rest of the week and what you can expect for today as well, it's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. And we'll be right back.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
All right, quick break, everybody. Had to greet the wifey as she was leaving this morning. She's about to get on the road to go to a funeral. My father-in-law's family was from Dayton, so they're having the services. Well, actually, having the services here in the Forest Park area, and then they're going up to Dayton because he was in the military. He's going to get his military honors this morning as well. And wanted to make sure, I greeted her before she was leaving. As she was leaving, doing my duties as a Black father and husband. All right, good morning to you. 513, families first. 513-873-7134. Got the Black. Oh, you was asking me how I can get the Black Lives Matter. Oh, okay. So this is a T-shirt that is not of my own creation. This is not something that I'm selling. I just picked this up along the way and decided to rock it. The Habu, the hat right here, that's from a local Black designer who does pretty dope work. I'm looking to work with him more closely, actually. So I hope to hear more about and share more of the products with you. But you can find it, Habu. Habu is the line. Pretty dope stuff. And then he even did an illustration of me, and it's got the Sin Digital Media logo. I think you've seen it on Facebook. I posted a few days ago. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Hopefully look for more from that. Most definitely. How many people got your purchase in? I want to remind you that you still get 10% off. imgbat.com, 10% off between now and the end of the year. The end of the year is not until the end of the day tomorrow, y'all. So you can still get 10% off. Just put Choppers, CHOPPERS, in the coupon code when you go to IMGBAT. They do fine jewelry, some one-of-a-kind items you're not going to find anywhere else. You can have something that is one-of-a-kind, that is unique. I don't know about you, but in terms of rocking jewelry, I love that idea. And again, you can use that in the coupon code Choppers, CHOPPERS. Go to imgbat.com and you can check it out for yourself and, support a Black-owned business. I know that's something that you're into already. I already know. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Also, don't want you to forget Tiffany Daniels, Community Connector, is coming soon to CDM. She does an excellent podcast. Man, she has something. Her last few podcasts has been A1 on point in terms of, exposing her audience and hopefully our audience soon to investment tips, things like that. Within the last 24 hours, I came across this super dope YouTube channel, man, that's run by this brother. I want to try to hook him up, with one of our podcasts. I think he does an excellent podcast about entrepreneurship. I just came across it in the last 24 hours. I've been binge watching a lot of his episodes. Man, it's just amazing things that people are doing out here, man. Love it. For the culture, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. So look for that. All right, let me go to the phones here. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey, and all the beautiful people in the greater Cincinnati area and all across the United States of America. This is your West Side Connection, up bright and early, the one and only Top Squad 52. And yes, Mr. Ivey, 2021 is almost here, sir. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I hear you scuffling in the background. Okay. Can I ask you some questions? I don't want to go on no flow. I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Too.
Ask me some questions. That's cool.
Okay. Well, first off, condolences to your family. I know you've had a tough 2020 with your health and the passing of your very, very, very close loved one. So just want to get that out the way. Mr. Ivey, everybody knows we're getting this stimulus check, and I'm going to invest my stimulus check into social media, Mr. Ivey. I'm going to go and drop $600 on the Podcaster Pro. And the advice that you gave me a couple of weeks ago, I learned a lot just from those few minutes talking to you. And the Podcaster Pro is going to be my selection. I'm going to buy me a dynamic mic because I got 2 condenser mics. And based on the information you told me for what I'm going to do or attempt to do, I'm going to buy me a dynamic microphone. And I want to drop some science, Mr. Ivey, because I dropped a little trailer on Twitter yesterday. I was experimenting, messing around. And I dropped a little trailer, a little call out trailer video calling out Mason Mahler because supposedly he's supposed to have him a podcast coming up. But I ain't heard no trailers. I ain't heard no demos. Obviously, he ain't got nothing in the can. Does he have anything in the can, Mr. Ivey?
Well, let's just say keep your ears open. Keep your ears open in 2021. Keep an ear out.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't wait, Mr. Ivey, because for one, it's going to be a lot of people that's waiting for Mason Mahler. And I'm pretty sure, based on the little bit that I know about him, people been waiting on this for a long time from Mr. Mahler. So he better come correct. And remember, Mason Mahler, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And it ain't having a show, ain't like being a caller, my brother. You got to have that gift of gab, because either you're going to take interaction from other people, either through messaging or through calls, or you're going to get on there and talk. And from what I've been listening to, don't nobody want to hear you talk. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Mr. Ivey, you need to play my call-out video to Glenn from Mason. But I'm not going to put you on the spot like that because I know you're a professional and you ain't going to just throw something on your show without checking the audio and all that kind of stuff first. But anyway, it's on your Twitter timeline. And I appreciate everything you've done, Mr. Ivey, as far as sharing your information with your listeners and the people who support you. Because, Mr. Ivey, you need to monetize that information, that intellectual property that you've been storing in your massive brain for all these years. You need to monetize it, Mr. Ivey. I know you got plans for 2021 too. So does Sin Digital Media. And I can't wait. I'm excited. but I'm taking my $600 check and I'm buying me a Rodecaster Pro. And Mr. Cleophas, a.k.a. Vinny, a.k.a. the overseer, it's going to be some people out there that's going to be looking to your show for inspiration, for knowledge, or just for freaking laughs. Because I can't wait, Mason Marler. I'm going to be your #1 fan. I may be the only person that even calls your show. But I can't wait. I'm excited. But that's all I got, Mr. Ivey. I don't want to go no further because I'm getting too hyped up. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my check. And I'm going to cash it. And I'm going to reinvest it into social media. Where's Aftab Horval? We need some net neutrality. Drop score 52. Drop a sign up to anyone who wants to catch 2021. I can't wait.
Good to hear from the brother. He is amped up. I appreciate it. I love that energy. So he's going to get the Rodecaster Pro. You should get it. I've heard good things about it. And if you do, you should get the pod mics. They go with it. This mic right here is called the pod mic. Set you back about 100. But it works for me. It does what I need to do. I've got some other mics. I've got what you would call broadcast, the RE, something 20. If you go to like a traditional radio station, it's like a big sort of, sometimes it's like a greenish kind of mic. Got a couple of those that I use for voiceovers, which he's right. It just dawned on me, what you're going to see from CDM is a couple things. You're going to see, so just two big buckets. So one thing you're going to see is just an expansion of, what we're doing in terms of connecting with the different voices. There's numerous podcasts that are in the pipeline that we're going to be debuting. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to work with people who are very, very talented, who give a damn about what they care. They really care about, what they're doing. And that goes a long way. Then they have something to say. So again, expanding that roster so that we can hit more niches and then amplify more voices. But then also, as you said, sort of mining some of that intellectual property, because I have amassed quite a bit of knowledge when it comes to podcasting and doing the digital media thing, that I want to share with other people as well. So we'll see. I'll tell you more about it when there's more to tell you about. Until then, we keep on going. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kevin on. How you feeling, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome.
Thoughts and prayers and blessings.
You sound pretty low.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me actually switch. I'm still gonna sound low because I'm a little tired. 2020 just took it out of me, man. Is that a little bit better though?
That is a little bit better, yes.
All right, fantastic. So here's well, first off, I'm gonna say something that a lot of people probably ain't gonna like, and I apologize for it, but I just think that the truth should be told. I'm glad that the $600 stimulus checks went out, and I don't know if it's a good idea for there to be additional stimulus. As much as I feel for the people that I know are struggling right now, there's a reason why the peso is a peso. The Mexican government flooded the market with their currency. It devalued the currency, and now peso is not worth that much. Same thing for the Trinidadian Trini, for the Trini dollar in Trinidad. So, it sounds great that we just print money and spend it. But if there's nothing to back it, and if it's a whole bunch of debt, if the GDP can't support the dollar, we'll get the same thing that everybody else gets. We'll get hyperinflation where your dollar won't be worth anything. And you'll also be in a situation where, while you're working harder and getting quote unquote bigger paychecks, they pay you $15, but the dollar ain't worth what it was when it was worth, a year ago. Then you really didn't get a raise. It just looks like you have more money. I often say, my grandfather used to tell me this story about going to it's apropos because it's around this time of the year, about going down in Mount Auburn And on Christmas Day and Thanksgiving, he would go get a meal for a quarter. And he said for a quarter, he got, what was it, 2 chicken legs, the potatoes, the works, cranberries, dressing, everything for a quarter. Well, a quarter won't buy you much now, man. So, while our paychecks may look bigger comparatively, if they're smaller, then you're not necessarily doing better. So there is this other thing in the background that nobody wants to talk. Everybody wants their $2,000 check, but they're not thinking about what the outcome will be. I don't know. I went to the grocery store the other day, and my dollar's not buying what it used to buy. And I know there's a reason behind it. So, it might not be popular. People are like, I want my $2,000. I don't care what you say, Kev. But if your $2,000 is only worth $1,500, you might not want that $2,000. So that's that. Now, but 2020, thank you, Lord, it's almost over, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'm just leaving 2020 in 2020. I'm moving on to 2021. I'm starting my move on. I'm working on it right now to just leave the past in the past and get away from that, because it's been a crazy year. A lot of folks are really struggling and in pain, and I don't know, man. We're going back. So what do you, the $2,000, even if you were to get it? So I hate to side with Mitch, man. I think it hurts my feelings and my heart to be on Mitch's team for any reason whatsoever, and it's kind of driving me crazy. Bro.
It should drive you crazy, brother. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't get it. I mean, all that stuff about inflation, 2,000 is more than 600. That's all that matters to me. It's damn near 3 times as So, I mean,
but there's monetary policies, man.
Monetary
you don't live
policy.
in a vacuum. There's a world economy. There are things, there are driving forces for why dollars are worth dollars. You know what I'm saying? If you did a couple years ago, China was talking about, they were talking about putting pressure against the United States by flooding the market, by making their currency cheaper on purpose so that they could drive down the cost of goods goods being made in China. This is real. It's real. Like, we can act like we can stick our head in the sand and act like, there's not governmental forces behind the things that happen in the country, but there are. So yeah, it sounds good. You're like, hey man, I got $2,000. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, 2,000. But it's in the long run. Nathan, if I give you $1 today, man, and then tomorrow I say, now I hope you enjoyed that $1. I want 5 back for it. You're gonna be like, what? You gave me $1, I'll give you $1. And it, no, I give you $1, but I want 5 back. And you're like, nah, that's gangster. Okay, well that's what we're looking at. These dollars could be expensive. That $2,000 could cost you a lot of money in the long run.
I don't understand. How's it going to cost me money in the long run when people got to buy groceries and pay for bills in the short run?
So this is my I'll give you, this is my last analogy, right? If you go right now to one of those check cashing places, right? They'll cut your check in a heartbeat. You're like, here, man, they'll take this money, right? And then next week, when you go back and you say, well, I borrowed 200, here's your 200 back. They're gonna be like, that ain't what we gave you 200. You gotta give us back. What I think the last I heard, it's something like 135% or something like that. We gave you 200. We want 400. We want $500 back. Well, wait, what? Oh yeah. Interest rate over the course of the year, over the course of those 2 weeks, is like 135%. If you do business like that, and there are people that do business like that, that's why those check cashing places exist, and slowly they're fading away. Thank God. But that's why those places exist, and that's why they thrive. If you do business like that, you will get the same outcome that those people get. So if I give you $2,000 today, but then I tell you tomorrow, listen, I gave you that $2,000, but I'm going to tax it. and I'm probably going to tax that against at 40%. I'm going to take that against your income next year. I'm also going to, because we're putting all of this money into the market, because money got to come from somewhere, because we're going to stick all these trillions of dollars into the market, we're going to now lower the value of the dollar, which then means when you spend going forward, so not just today, but every day you spend $1, your dollar is now worth 76 cents. You're going to end up paying more in the long run. That's what I'm talking about. And so, there is a level. We have a gross domestic product. It's the amount that our economy is actually worth. And if you get close to that number, if you get really close to that number, it's going to devalue your dollar. So when you go buy your milk, it ain't going to be $1, $2, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a $4 milk. Your bread is going to be $2.50 to get a loaf of bread. Effects, not short term.
Yeah, I ain't feeling all that, man. To me, it's much more simple than that. People need money. You got people out there that's not earning what they normally would have because of the pandemic. The stimulus check is supposed to be a stopgap to help, bridge that gap right there, should I say. So the theories, I mean, that sounds, I don't know, but it's an emergency. It's a pandemic. People are about to be evicted in some cases. People are spending more money on food because they're at home all day, or their kids are home all day, even though they might be getting help from the school system. And so the people need relief. And, we never had these conversations when we're talking about rich people. When we're talking about, the unbalancing of the tax system, we ain't got no problem with that. But as soon as you start talking about getting money to the people, all of a sudden we have all these theories and this. Not give the people the money. It's our money anyway. Those are our tax dollars anyway.
There's something very important about the rich people that people don't say, and they need to. There's a reason why they call the 1% and the 10%, because they're 10% of the country. So if there's 100 people, right? 10% of 100 people is 10 people. If you give 10 people $10, it's $100. If you give 90 people $10, it's $900. And so when all of this, again, this is just math and money. That's all it is, just math and money. So when you figure out that if 10% of the country, if the country's 340 million people, then 10% of that is what, 34 million, right? So that's 34 million people that you're giving some money to. We're going to give the money now to the other 306 million people that are left. There's laws, man. There's numbers. These are numbers. You can say, I don't care, but there are outcomes. 10% is 10%. And what most of that policy that was done wasn't even for the 10%. It was for the 1%.
So you think that Mitch McConnell,
340,000 people.
So you think that Mitch McConnell is holding up $2,000 checks because he's looking at the long game of the value of the U.S. dollar?
I think Mitch McConnell is being Mitch McConnell. I don't necessarily agree with why Mitch McConnell's doing what he's doing. I know why he's doing. He's doing it to get. It's early. I ain't gonna say what I want to say. An a-hole. I get it. But I still say that monetary policy is monetary policy, and being smart about money is being smart about money. So whether it's because I agree with Mitch McConnell or because it makes sense, it is what it is. And so we need to, and you said before, I don't care. That's part of the problem that we have. That's part of the problem we have as a people, is that sometimes we say we don't care when we need to be caring. When somebody comes up to you and says, I'm going to buy your house for some low amount of money, and then, a year from now, I'm going to sell it for 7 times whatever it is I gave you, and you say yes, that's that I don't care mentality. And it's not necessarily the best thing for us. I understand it. But again, it is what it is. And we might not want to be, sometimes we do have to think about what are the consequences of our actions. What's going to be the result? $2,000 times 306 million people. Yeah, them zeros is real. So you can't pretend like there's not going to be some effect of doing that in the economy. This is real money and real lives.
I got you, B.
Cheap money today could be expensive tomorrow.
All right, Kev, I got you, man. Thanks for the call.
I appreciate you. Be blessed, man.
Yeah, most def. That's Kev checking in. I don't know what Kev was talking about today, boy. I don't know. He talking about some monetary theories. Man, throw that out the window and get them checks down here. Period. Release the checks. Everybody else getting checks. When the fat cats get checks, it's the best thing in the world because they are job creators. They're going to trickle down. Man, let that money trickle up. And then we just released $1,200 checks per person back in, what was it, March of this year? May or March of this year? The world didn't come to an end. We'll be okay. People got bills. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Nathan, it's Tracy.
Hey.
What kind of alternative universe is Kevin living in? I'm sitting here listening to him like, right now people are supposed to care about the future of a dollar when they're trying to survive today. People are not trying to get to next year and being taxed on that money if you think it's in advance. People are trying to get through the end of this 24 hours so that they can make it to the next day. So let me get this straight, Kevin. If the government sends you $600 and then they send you another $1,400 to make it $2,000, you're going to send it back? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that if you were destitute, you were facing eviction, you had no food in your refrigerator, and you had kids, you'd send the money back because it's going to weaken the U.S. dollar? People have real life choices to make, and they could give a rat's ass about what the future is going to look like with this money that's being sent out here. I can't even believe the conversation. It's just like, have you not turned on the news and seen the food lines? Have you not seen the people who face eviction and people who have lost jobs? What are they supposed to do? Just care about the value of a dollar next year or in years to come? People have to survive. We are in a rat race for survival and don't have time to care about mathematics. The whole theory is just stupid to me. You either take the money or you don't. And if you don't want it or if you don't need it, send it back. Or better yet, go stand out on the major intersection and hand out dollars to those who need it. That's the solution. Because, Kevin, you're saying all this to say what? What's your solution? Because nobody can send that back. They need it. I don't even understand the whole argument of it. Who cares what Mitch McConnell thinks? Send the money and send it now is what I say. But that's my rant.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I have to say I agree with Tracy on this. I do. I don't get it. I didn't understand all this pontificating about financial theories, man. Later for all of that. Send the money to the people. Simple as that. Run them dollars. Run the checks. Run the checks. Because that $1,200 ran out a long time ago. And yeah, everybody's in a different space, but a lot of folks are going to have families. They'll take care of their families. There's some folks out there that are still being impacted by COVID. What if you are, what if you was a bartender or you are a waitress or you are a server? You might not even have an industry right now. You might be sitting at home. What about unemployment checks? Do you feel the same way about unemployment checks? I'm 100% believe in unemployment. 100%. You know what I'm saying? You against that too, Kev? I mean, come on, man. I say power to the people. The best way to help the people is not giving it to the boss on the job. And then you got to hope that the boss is benevolent and wants to share with the people. No, give it directly to the men and women that work every day to take care of their families. To me, it's a no-brainer. But let me go back to the phones here and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's happening, Nate? This is Brian.
What up, Brian? Welcome.
Hey, thank you. And you know the hearts and feelings are there, man, for being a strong one is that might be what you cut out for. I know the feeling, but it still don't make it no easier, man. So shout out. I just wanted to. I don't even know where to start. This show is not long enough really to go into all the ins and outs of what Kev was trying to get at, but there's some factual inaccuracies. The devaluation of the Mexican peso was not a result of them handing out mass money. That's sort of the end result of a whole bunch of stuff that happened while the U.S. government took away all their national patrimony, bought Pemex, their big national oil company, bought everything that gave them the ability to stand as an independent nation. Then when they were unable to pay back their debts, then they issued all this money, and the peso was devalued not because they passed out money, but because they had nothing to stand behind it, and they had no military or wide economic standing in the world for them to be quote unquote too big to fail. Now the U.S. government is, for all the bad reasons, but the fact of the matter is they're one of the bullies of the world. They're one of the big dogs. They're too big to fail in this stage. And a devaluation is based on the world not accepting your adjustment that you're making by issuing money. So that is not going to happen. Basically, the world, who is also giving out their version. I mean, I say the world, I don't mean I'm talking about the developed world, countries that are wealthy because they stole their wealth from Africa and South America and other places. Those countries also carried out big versions of stimulus, gave away all kinds of money, and much more than the U.S. gave away per capita. So if that's your argument that on this whole devaluation question, then those countries gave away a lot more of their gross domestic product than the U.S. has, or would with a $2,000 give back, basically, because like you said, it's our money, to us. So I know all these things can be complicated and can be too much to try to go into on a show, but I just want to make the point that when it's time to give $934 billion to the military, which was the base budget for the military this year, they got money. When it's time to cut breaks for the wealthiest people and give them all kinds of tax breaks and environmental pollution breaks and all this kind of stuff, they got plenty of money. When it's time to give the people who are the true backbone of the nation their due, we can't do it. We it's excuses. So we have to change our mentality about what we deserve, because we create and produce everything. It's all around us and we get nothing. And I'll end on this. There is wealth around us that we don't even understand is wealth. So when you go and you look at the big lots for auto producers who produce all these vehicles that are never going to be sold, but they mass produce them because they hope they're going to sell them and they compete with everybody else. But Toyota, Hyundai, Ford, any automaker that you want to say has lots and lots and lots, meaning like big properties, lots of cars that they don't sell. That is wealth that has been turned into this thing that can't be used and won't be sold. Multiply that by all the products that are mass produced and never sold and end up on Wish. And that is the wealth that we're losing to wealthy people that could be transformed. All those little rubber duckies that never get sold, all those cars that never get sold, all those mass produced tires by people that never get sold, all of these items, if that was transformed into actual money, could solve so many problems in the country. So, but it doesn't, because we live in a system where the wealthy just mass produce stuff because it's cheaper and we get the tail end of the deal. So anyway, man, I enjoyed the show. I'm glad you're back. And I'll holler at you.
All right, Brian, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. That's Brian Taylor. Yeah, I see he touched some nerves when he called in and made that point, huh? Speaking of Kev on a sale, he touched some nerves, man. Excellent point again. Like, everybody can get paid, but when it comes to the people, the real backbone of this country, the working class, it's like, you'll be okay. Get out there and work during the pandemic, huh? Just get back out there and work during the pandemic. It's like, wait a minute, this is our money. Yeah, it's your money, kinda. I want to play this video for you. This is the latest outrage as it relates to the carrying looks like there might be some charges that'll follow this incident. I'm going to play for you in just a second, okay? The latest Karen incident happened on Saturday. And for what I'm reading, happened in New York, Manhattan District Attorney's Office is investigating this incident. We'll play it for you in a second. For now, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well today. Welcome.
It's wonderful. Wonderful to hear. Glad to see you are back. Sorry to hear about the recent health troubles in the within your family. That's disturbing. I'm a little tired today. Last night was a full moon, so I was out doing wolf shit. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do every 30 days. I want to issue. This is a first in Nathan Ivey podcast history. I want to issue an apology to Brian Taylor. You know how I feel about the pit bull shit. You know how I feel about that. And I said that was quite possibly the most idiotic thing I'd heard in 30 years of radio. And in the past 7 days, 2 people usurped him quickly. And look no further than Kev. I don't know what the hell he was trying to wax poetic about, but I thought Tracy summed it up best. I don't need to even add no more to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure what type of, economy teacher, economist teacher you are or whatever. It just sounded like a self-entitled diatribe. Hey, I'm the smartest person in the room. Listen. You know what I'm saying? It kind of reminds me of when I was in the, getting my master's in teaching, how, the professor said that, hey, the best person to teach biology would be a doctor, but can he make it interesting for a 6th grader? Whatever you were trying to explain to us, you lost us. You couldn't make it relevant to laymen. But this is the same guy who said that Panthro, not Lion-O, despite the backstory being jungle cats in outer space, but Panthro was the leader of the Thundercats. Do you remember that phone call earlier this year?
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
And now he starts the year off with that, ends it with this bull stuff. Let's leave that brother in 2020. You know what I'm saying? And hey, listen, like I told you, when I hear you talking about your son in basketball, I instantly think Denzel. So I'm gonna start calling you Jake Shuttlesworth from He Got Game.
Why not LeVar Ball?
Why? Oh, you wouldn't rather be Denzel than LeVar Ball?
LeVar Ball sent 3 of his boys to the NBA. 2 of them were lottery picks.
He got 3 boys in the NBA. He got 3 boys in the NBA. He was a great hype machine because
yes, he was.
The 2 that are currently in the NBA, in the NBA do not look like a 2nd and 3rd pick overall at all. So he kind of hyped him up and got him picked a little quick. No, Lonzo went 2nd. Does he look like a 2nd round pick, a 2nd pick overall to you?
Yeah, he has flashes. He has flashes.
I need consistency out of my 2nd overall pick, not flashes. Flashes is what I
Who
get
went
from
first in that draft?
I forget who went first this year. I totally forget.
So you hating on Lonzo? Lonzo is going to be a critical piece of a championship team one day. Watch.
Yeah, as the backup point guard.
Man, we need good people to come off the bench too.
I watched him Sunday. Because I had an investment in him, and I'm watching him. It's like I don't like his body language. He can D a little bit. He long. He got a little. He can play a little bit of defense, but like the shooting, for some reason he doesn't. Well, put it like this: he doesn't work on that team because the second half, Zion and the other guy, Brandon Ingram, they shut him out. Like they were going 1-on-1, and it was just like, dude, you need to be more assertive with the ball. That's another thing. The Pelicans quit running that He's not Kevin Durant. Stop doing that. And another thing, speaking of hoop, now that you mention it, I don't know if you've been watching. Maybe it's just me, but LeBron looks old all of a sudden on the court.
Really?
Yeah, his age is starting to show now. I mean, don't get it wrong. He still dunks and does, a few things, but now it looks like he struggles to get up that high. When 5 years ago he would get up and it would just be no problem. Now he looks like he's struggling a bit. He's old. I don't know if he's going to last the whole season.
Really?
I'm dead ass. So don't get it twisted. I love LeBron. But it's just like, oh, yeah, Father Time is undefeated. They say that for a reason.
He's definitely lost a step or two because he struggles to get past opponents with the dribble. I've noticed that,
right.
But we'll see. I think he's still got enough to carry him through.
I mean, he had a few steps to lose. I mean, he was a superior athlete. He had a few steps to lose. But I'm just saying, if you watch him closely, it's like, yeah, bruh, you're kind of getting old. Somebody's about to take over as the best player in the league, and it'll happen this year.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be Anthony Davis.
What I'm saying? He's gonna be what? Oh, you think it'll be Anthony Davis?
Yeah, Anthony Davis. Yeah.
I like AD. I like Zion. I mean, there's some. The NBA is not it doesn't have a lack of talent in it backing him up. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't. It's just like I said. Watch him closely next time. His age is showing.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks good to me. He looks good to me. He always reserves his energy until like later in the season too. So don't be fooled by that. LeBron loves to do that early in the season.
Yeah, but when you get a breakaway dunk, like I can feel him trying to jump.
I ain't see that.
Everything looks different. Like it looks like it's a struggle for him.
It might be, man. They just concluded, what was it, 70 days ago? Like the NBA season last season ended 70 days before the new season. So that his body probably tired. So we'll see what happens. I'm still going with the Lakers this year, man.
What, to win the title?
To win the title, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Boston.
Boston?
I like Jason Tatum. He's special. Jason Tatum's special.
Yeah, but he's the only special one there. They're not even gonna get past the Nets.
Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
They got heat out there.
Oh, so they got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Okay, they got two stars. Okay, two young bucks. Yeah, they're good. They're good. But can they get past the Heat, number one? And can they get past the Nets? I don't think so. I don't like the coach.
The Heat just got thumped by 50 last night at home.
Yeah.
Good teams don't do that. Get thumped by 50. But yeah, and please, before I go, I tell you this every time you mention your son in basketball. When he's ready to learn how to grip a curveball, let me know.
I'll keep that in mind.
We need more black children in baseball.
Oh yeah, baseball.
Every N-word in his mama knows how to dribble a basketball and play basketball.
That's a big payday in baseball. Hey, I'm cool with that too.
And he's left-handed, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It's all there for you, but you got hoop dreams. You fake Spike Lee, LeVar Ball want to be. I get it. I get it. But it's okay to be, a baseball dad. But hey, that's all I wanted, man. I had something. Like I said, I'm a little wore out last night, and Kev just like took the rest of it out of me. Let's leave that brother in 2020. I'll holler, B.
No, we got to bring Kev, man. We can't leave Kev in 2020. I know Kev is cracking up somewhere, man. He having a good time with this. All right, before we roll, did y'all see the story that had to do with a very prominent black lawyer? Hear about this? A very prominent black lawyer that got caught up in what appeared to be an operation to apprehend a murder suspect. You know what I'm talking about? Who could I be talking about? You tell me. Have you heard about this? 513-873-7134. I'll leave it right there. Let it marinate a little bit. I'll get some comments in. I'll come back to it. But that's a tough business right there. Karens, Darrens, and drops. Old musty ass busters got to go. That's Mason Marler. Tanika writes, thanks, Akeem. Yeah, props to Tanika. I saw that her daughter published a book. Yeah. Oh, super nice, man. Yes. I posted inside the friends page when I saw it, and people should definitely support her. Most definitely. Let's see. More back and forth. Black Russia writes, good morning. Good to see you. The link to the petition to stop the SB 175. Okay, I'll definitely sign this. So there's a petition to stop SB. And I guess the petition is from Move On. Here it is. Yeah, I'll sign on this. Yes, most def. So it looks like the Cincinnati NAACP is circulating a petition strongly opposed to SB 175, the proposed stand your ground, shoot first legislation. Black men are often perceived as being more suspicious, threatening, and dangerous than people of other races. This reality was the basis for the unjustified shooting death of Tamir Rice, which we found out this week. There'll be no federal charges against the officer that killed Tamir Rice. This was a young boy, 12 years old. And I'm not surprised to see the Justice Department's not pursuing charges, because have they pursued any charges since Trump's been in office? You know, that was one big difference between Obama's Justice Department and the Trump Justice Department. Obama's Justice Department, took the consent decrees. They took a lot of those historic arrangements and agreements like the collaborative that we have here in the city of Cincinnati. They took them far more seriously than the Trump administration did. Took it far more seriously. The Trump administration had a hands-off approach when it came to like doing whatever they could to bring law enforcement agencies that have a history of abuse or allegations of abuse into order. They took a hands-off on that. Like, nah, we ain't, that's a state matter. Justice Department declines to file charges against officers in deadly shooting of Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice, 12 years old. He was playing at, I think, a playground, and somebody called in 911 and said that, they were concerned, but they think that it was a fake gun. The officers showed up and treated it like it was like an active shooter. Like literally before one of the officers jumped out of the car before the car even stopped moving up in Cleveland and shot this boy. And it turns out he had like a fake gun. He was killed at the recreation center on November 22nd, 2014. Think about how long that is. So he was killed on November 22nd, 2014. That goes way back to the Obama administration, because Obama was in office until what? 2016? Yeah, Obama was in office in 2016. A person called a 911 report seeing a person with a gun. I remember listening to the audio clip. The man clearly says it's probably a juvenile and the gun was probably fake. But unfortunately, that information was not passed along to the officers. I think whoever the 911 operator was in that situation did Tamir Rice a grave disservice, because there's a difference when you communicate all of the information to an officer. The officers don't know. They just saying, oh, somebody with a gun. So they're going to approach it like somebody's with a gun is a threat. Would it have made a difference if they were told that it was probably a juvenile with probably a fake gun? It might have. The officer who killed him, Loman, opened fire when he said the boy reached toward his waistband. The gun turned out to be an airsoft pistol. Loman was fired from the Cleveland Division of Police in 2017 for lying on his police application, not the deadly shooting. So let me get this straight. You can kill somebody, stay on the force, but if you lie on the application, it's a problem. But we see that's how it works. Like when you lie to the investigators, like the police, they hold that much more seriously than if you're just like kill somebody in a line of duty that you didn't have to really kill. His termination, though it was appealed, was upheld by the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court. The Cleveland Police Patrolsmen Association said it's still fighting to get his job back. And U.S. Attorney William Barr brought that family no justice whatsoever, so no charges. That's over with. Yeah, I think it's a damn shame, quite honestly, in my opinion, but tell me what you think. So I'll sign this when I get off. Looks like this has been up for a couple of days. Yeah, the first milestone is 400 signatures, so thank you for sharing that. Pardon me, appreciate it. Back to your chat. Tracy writes, great call, Tracy, as it was a great call. TNT writes, well said, sis. Anthony writes, people living on credit cards right now. That is even a bigger hole to get out of. Yes, it is. Kev writes, no, I'm not, and I'm not unaware of the situations of folk. I'm saying the idea of mathematically, it may not be a great idea. But Kev, man, listen, we're going to put all the math to the side. The only math that matters is it's more. $1,200 in the bank is $1,200 in the bank. $2,000 is more than $600. You can do more with $2,000 than you can do with $6,000. In fact, it's 3 times as much. So it's real simple. 6 times 3 is 1,800. So it's three times plus. Give the people the relief they need. You got people that work in the service industry that are not making any money right now. They're not making nearly as much money. You got people that's in the rideshare industry that are not making any money right now. You got people who are being affected in a lot of different ways. They don't have the money. This is why we pay tax dollars. It's time for the government to take care of us. We take care of the government every tax season. We're getting ready for tax season now. People getting ready for tax season right now. For next year to be here before you know it, right? So we pay our taxes, we help out. When the people need help, we don't want to hear all this yabba dabba do. We want the money. Release the checks, man. Release the checks. Simple as that. I don't want to hear nothing about no mathematics. I don't want to hear no math theory. I don't want to hear none of that. All I want to know is, when is the money going to be released to the people? Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm reading that Master P and Baron Davis are in talks to purchase Reebok for $2.4 billion. Yeah, Master P is big on that entrepreneurial tip. He big on that tip. He got all kind of stuff he's selling. He got shoes and cereal and all kind of stuff he's selling, man. And if you follow him on Instagram, which of course I do, then he runs a lot of these competitions in which he's trying to like get people to just think as an entrepreneur. I love it. I think it's beautiful. So now it's being reported that Master P, if you don't know, he is an entrepreneur. He's the general of No Limit Records, the No Limit Empire. And to me, he seems like a very smart businessman. Like, he's somebody I would listen to, most definitely. It's been reported that he, along with NBA All-Star Baron Davis, are potentially about to acquire Reebok. The apparel giant is looking for new ownership after Adidas announced they were planning to offload the brand. So these brothers, I think you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar, purchase. I think they're asking for $2.4 billion. I think that's big right there. The only thing I didn't like about the story is that the deal isn't already done. You know what I'm saying? People will try to throw a wrench in your game. So in a lot of cases, you should just keep it mums until you get everything secured. That way you know that you actually got something. Because if not, people are like, oh, you trying to get Reebok? There might be some folks that's now interested in owning Reebok because of it. But I think that'll be big, though. I've seen Master P shoes. I mean, it's cool. That's what you want. But every time I see Master P, he's always on some trying to teach people stuff. It don't matter where. If he's on the Breakfast Club, he was a bit hypocritical about that. His little exchange he had with Charlamagne. Whether he's on Drink Champs or whatever, he's always on some teaching people type of stuff, trying to inspire people. So I love it. I love it. Hope it goes through for him. Back to the phones we go. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm doing well. Welcome.
I'm all right, man. Hey, you can't inspire somebody with those weak-ass Reeboks, Nate. They're going to have to redesign or something. They're going to either have to redesign the shoe or they're going to have to get like a, I don't know, what, top 10 horseman athlete out there. I don't care what sport, preferably basketball or football. With all due respect to fame, trying to get more blacks in the baseball. What is it, like 3% right now, if that? But they're gonna have to do some redesigning of their products. I wish him well. I'm like you, Nate. I don't think they should put himself out there already. This is kind of like a Katrina Pearson type of viral blast out there. I mean, in the middle of negotiations, you're gonna let everybody know that you're out there trying to buy for $2.1 billion or something to that effect.
2.4.
2.4. Okay. I mean, you agree or disagree?
Oh, I just said it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, 100%. That's the first thing I thought about. Like, man, typically you hear about these deals when they're done,
Right.
But hopefully he's further along in the deal and it comes through for him. I think it'd be dope.
I mean, and another thing, he needs to get some of these universities. Maybe start off with the HBCU and trying to get them, their merchandise. UC wears what, Adidas now? Didn't they wear Jordan brand? I don't know why they switched from that. You ever heard any explanation for that?
You talking about University of Cincinnati?
Yeah.
No, I'm not hip to their deals or anything.
Yeah, I'm like that. I mean, it looked whack to me personally. But let me say this, Nate, because I heard your boy Drop, excuse me. I mean, Katrina Pierce. I mean, Herman Cain's stunt double. I heard him call in. Isn't it so cute that he wants to buy the Podcaster Pro? Nate, what we talked about that, a month ago, 2 months ago? Drop, you're so 2020 November type. Nate, a little good news for you, brother. I couldn't get in touch with you last night. We, played a little phone tag. I'll try to give you a little call later. But that Audio Technica 2100X and that Tascam, guess when it arrives, Nate? It arrives today with the boom mic and the shock mount and the whole thing. Drop, you don't want that. Wah, 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 wah. I'm coming for you, Drop, and the rest of your little whack ass crew. But more importantly, I'll be coming at the Republican Party, Nate, and coming into 2020, Democrats need a voice. They need to stand up strong and stop pontificating, stop soft-shoeing, stop worrying about Donald Trump, the Republicans, and the Tea Party. Matter of fact, Nate, have you heard anything from the Tea Party? I think they might have changed their names, like, I don't know, trans eating ass or something. I can't say that on radio. My bad. But, we were talking about it yesterday. Like, where the hell are they? And please stop with the everybody found their fiscal Jesus now. For 4 years, we spent it like drunken sailors. Now, all of a sudden, we checking the checkbook, constantly looking at your app. So that's what we doing now? You feel me, Nate?
What did you just say, man? What?
It'll be on the show. Oh, by the way, Drop, since you're out there, I've already registered my show's name, Nate, on GoDaddy. I paid the little fee. I think it's 99 cents for the first year, $14.99 after that every year. I spent $15.21 at freaking McDonald's the other day. You waste money when you can pay for certain things like that. But Nate, I got to talk to you, man, because I got questions.
Okay.
You can best believe that it will be set up tonight, bro. I will be throwing out. I got the little mixers. I even bought a sound card, Nate.
Okay. Well, let me know when you're free after the show. We can talk about it.
Like I said, Nate, it's the Audio Technica 2100X. That's a little shock, so it can hit the table and they won't feel none of that stuff. I've been looking at gains and latency. I know what all that stuff means, Nate. I just need you, man. Just push me over the edge.
I'm here.
And Drop, while you at it, you're the type of caller that we need. I would leave you on for like 3 or 4 segments. I would treat you like the people down the down. Like, I would show you to my audience like you a zoo animal. Like, folks, come look at this. Nate, I'm out, man. And I'm going to end my show. Hopefully in the end, people will be getting what I'm spitting. I'll talk to you later, bro. I got to get back to work.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Mason Mahler. Yeah, I mean, he put it out there. We working on the show. Again, many new voices coming to CDM. We are growing every day. We will grow into 2021, and we're just getting started. I'm seeing so many great examples. I take a lot of inspiration from the people around me. See, that's the great thing about being a creator, is that when you create, you put it out there, and then other people can look at it and say, oh, I like this. They might tweak it. They might do something different based upon your example. But when other people create, they do the same thing. That's why I love creators, man, because you bring in something to the game. You bring in more example, more ideas, and you better believe people look at what you're doing. You're like, oh, yeah, in the game. I love it. For you, especially when you're doing it on an independent hustle kind of way. I love it 100%. And I'm open to collab with almost anybody, especially if you know, along the same lines and mission as I am. But listen, folks, I got to make a move. There's a lot of stuff going on today. Coming up today at 1 p.m., Truth to Power podcast will be back. Make sure you check it out. And, of course, my plan is to be back with you live, local, and vocal tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Of course, you got a special guest that's planned for tomorrow, former Columbus Police Department officer who just wrote a book called The Thin Black Line. Oh, not the thin blue line, but the thin black line. She'll be talking about her experiences as a black person who worked in the Columbus Police Department. And everyone's been talking about the actions of the Columbus Police Department, right? We know with those 2 shootings. So that should be very interesting tomorrow. Make sure you check on that. And then I'm planning to be with you on New Year's Eve day as well. Okay? So we'll kick off the new year in the right way. All right? Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you being here. We'll catch up real soon. If you want to connect with me, I'm highly accessible. You can hit me up. You can text message me at any point. You can send me a direct message. I will respond. Shout out to my patrons for your support. Another month of your support. This month has not gone the way I wanted it to in terms of what I wanted to give you, but hopefully you give me a little bit of grace in the sense that, you know, we've had a lot of personal things that are going on and we're not over with, fast. We're still dealing with it right now. So I appreciate you. Check your Patreon feed and have an excellent rest of your day. And I'm out.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man.